Hello, welcome back to Hanging Around the Fishing Hole. I'm your host, Lloyd Metcalf, and I'm here today with my guest and co-host, Mr. Kent Lipka, and this is going to be a smelt fishing show. So we're going to pack up all of our gear, grab the camera, grab the poles, and we're going to head up to Baker's Smelt Camps up in Pittston. And you've never been smelt fishing. Well, you've been smelt fishing, but you haven't fished the way we fish.
Not the way you guys fish. I fished the old way, and it was probably about 30 years ago, and I think we caught 5.
All right, so this is going to be a good adventure for you. Mrs. Baker says that we've got one of their new shacks, and for the viewers, I hope you're wearing your brown pants because you're about to crap when you see what I've got. I got sent some of these M-rods, and let's see if I can get a little closer with them. I got sent some of these M-rods, and they're made out of stainless steel, and we're going to be trying these out today. I'm going to post them on the website later on so y'all can get a better look at them, but apparently they're short, so they're going to be nice in the smelt shack, but they can handle striper fishing apparently. So I'm thinking, you know, jigging for togue and using them for smelt fishing, and then going striper fishing with them too. So over the next number of months, we're going to be out in the bay and whatnot, and we're going to keep one of these at least. And they come in a few different models, and I'm just trying to decide which one is it that I want to keep. So hopefully before the night's over, we'll put these in a lot of different hands and get some good use out of them.
Good.
Yeah. So what do you think? You ready to go fishing?
I'm ready to go fishing.
I can't wait anymore. Let's go.
Let's go.
So here we are at Baker's Smelt Camps, and you can see behind us the camps are all on the ice, and they've got the wood fires rolling, so they'll be nice and warm when we get down there.
So Lloyd, explain this to me a little bit. What are the prices here, and you know, if people are interested in coming down, what does it cost?
Well, sure, it depends where you go, but when you come to Baker's during the weekdays, it's $10 per person for the shack and $2 for bait. On the weekends, you pay, like if it's a 6-man shack, you pay the $60 for the shack, and you can stuff as few or as many people in it as you want. And then, but they have the wood stoves in there. The wood's all provided. It's usually nice and toasty, so all you got to do is go in and sit your butt down and drop a hook in the water. So
I noticed the fireplaces because the last time I went, there were no fireplaces. We were in snowsuits, and you know, late at night it got really, really cold. So that's nice that they got stoves.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And for $10 and another $2 for bait, you're not going to get any more family fun in a day, you know, than you would out smelt fishing. So I mean, a lot of times it doesn't even matter that you're catching fish. You're hanging out with your friends and your family. You know, and during the week, it's really a great time for families and groups to, you know, come and hang out and have a nice, cheap outdoor activity that isn't playing video games.
Yep.
Know? So we're going to go down and check out the Baker Smelt Camps, and hopefully we'll catch some fish.
Yeah, can't wait.
Those are the cod lines that everybody uses, and I just do not like them. The problem is, when you're using one of these cod lines, the size of that weight, and it really does look like kite string, and this is like the old way to do it. And the problem is, when you get a fish on here, you don't know until the line starts moving around. They have to hook themselves. With the jig poles, you can see every little nibble. Kent's over here, well, he's doing the he's doing the intern work.
Yeah, we're doing all the grunt work. I got one.
Untangling this. Yeah. Well, you know, if the professionals would carry their rods in the professional manner, right?
I think I want to film me.
So you got your M-rod out, and you just got a snap swivel on the end.
Yeah.
So you want to grab your fishing hole smelt rig.
Okay.
Whichever one you like. I mean, go through them, and those ones there are some of the new ones that I started making. Those are 1/100th size jigs, and they go onto the rigs. That's something we got to try out before the night's over.
Okay.
See how they catch.
Well, we might as well try now, right?
Well, yeah, if you want.
Yeah, let's try
Or you
it.
can try some of the other ones. It doesn't matter.
Let's start with these.
All right.
Gotta try it. Let's.
Hey, we got new jig poles. We got new smelt rigs.
There
you know.
go.
And so, unfortunately, sometimes they get a little messy when you pull them out of the pack.
Yeah, but we're gonna try not to.
I try to be pretty careful when I loop them in there, but sometimes.
Okay, I got something. Let's see. Not too bad.
Okay, so then you
There we
take that barrel swivel and hook it onto your snap swivel that's on your jig pole.
Okay.
Okay, and then what you got to do is you got to kind of clear off your chopping block there, and you pull out one of those sandworms and chop him up into 1/8 or 1/4 inch bits. Start with the head so you don't get pinched.
That is not the head. Here's the head.
Yeah, and you just slice them up into little, smaller than that even.
Okay.
Yep. There's a lot of times too much bait is the worst.
Hey, he's.
There's no tidy way to do it. Yeah.
Okay, so I need 3 pieces, right?
At least, yeah.
At least. Okay, so let's cut a couple more.
Okay. And then, you know, I'd even go half that size, Ken.
Half that size? Okay.
Yeah.
So cut those in half.
I mean, it just takes a little bit of bait. So there's only like a half dozen worms in a bag, but they goes a long ways.
Yeah, then I was definitely cutting them too big. Okay.
Okay, so then you put 1 piece on each of the flies.
1 piece on each fly. Gotta use your fine motor skills for this.
Yep.
Greasy. Okay.
Okay, you got it all baited?
It is.
Okay, so now what I typically do is I start out by dropping the line till it gets just a couple of seconds out of sight.
Just a couple of seconds.
Yeah, so you open the bail, and when you can't see that top fly anymore, let it go a second or two more, and then close the bail and start fishing.
So we're gonna. Oops. There we go. Okay, so. Alright, that should be good.
Yep, and then you can just like sit on the floor, sit on your bucket or whatever, and then hopefully you'll see a nibble there pretty soon. So here's how I like to set my rigs. I got a jig on each rod, and there's 3 hooks on each one. So I got 6 baited hooks down there, so which would be over half of this rod, this setup up above here. So I've got twice as many baited hooks with just 2 jig poles. Now if it's a little bit slow and I don't really see a whole lot coming up just yet, I might rig up a 3rd rod, and then I'd have 9 baited hooks in the water. So this is nothing like the way you remember smelt fishing then, huh?
Oh no, absolutely not. I mean,
What was it like the first time you went, 30 years ago?
it was cold. The shack that we were in was not insulated at all. There was no stove. There was no, I mean, we went out to this lake. It was dark, and you just basically sat there and you froze. We had Coleman lanterns, and we had to haul all our fuel in and everything like that. And what I remember is just an awful lot of work for very little return. I think, like I said, we caught 5. So.
Try one of them glow ones. Those glow-in-the-dark ones. Those are handy.
Right,
When you got the glow-in-the-dark ones on, there's a light bulb over your trough there, so you can just pull them up to the light bulb and charge them up. And alternately on the website, I also have there's clip-on lights that you can get that'll clip right onto your jig pole, and you can hit the button and charge them.
And charge them right up.
But I also discovered that if you've got it like one of those laser pointers, those charge them up real fast.
Oh yeah. And it'd go forever on a battery too. That'd be great. Yeah. Is that one?
Those are the originals. Yeah,
those are the originals.
It's made out of glow-in-the-dark Flashaboo. Yeah.
All right. Oh, so these are the.
Yeah, those glow-in-the-dark. Yeah.
That's what we're looking for. Okay.
Yeah. And the thought process behind that is when the smelts are migrating and they're out in the deeper water, they look for krill.
Ah.
which
Okay.
are bioluminescent,
Oh,
which means they glow in the dark.
so hence
The
they're
glow in the
looking
dark
for light.
flies. Yeah. And then so the bait brings them over to it, and the glow helps them spot it, and then hopefully puts fish in your bucket. Now you said what?
So Lloyd, I wanted to know, once you set the poles down, do you need to loosen the drag on this or leave the spool open or anything like that?
Well, if you leave the spool open, they'll start feeding the line out, especially if you get a couple on there at the same time.
Okay.
So yeah, I usually do put the drag, but I don't button it right up.
Okay.
You know.
So just loosen it a little bit?
Right.
Okay.
So I mean, you probably got like 8-pound test on those rods. So if you pull on it firmly, it'll pull out some. Yeah.
Okay.
Because there are Tommy cods down there sometimes. You get like a 12, 14 inch Tommy cod sometimes. So.
Well, I was just wondering because I'd hate to be sitting here and watch one of the poles disappear down the hole.
Right. Well, when you get them set like you do, with just the tip hanging over the edge, I mean, I'd even put a little more tip out there. I lay mine down flat with probably a little less than half the rod hanging over the hole, so you can still see. But the chances of your rod actually getting pulled in are pretty slim. I'm not going to say it hasn't happened. If you get a good run, you get 3 on there. They do tug it around a bit. If you set it too loose, then you find you're just cranking against the drag, but you're not pulling in a whopper really. Well, we might be in Pittston, but it looks like Bakertown out here. Like a whole city on the ice.
There we go.
That's what they look like.
That's
Yep. That's a sea smell. What's your best smelt fishing story?
Oh, jeez.
And how many people?
Well, it was
Okay.
back in the late
what time do you wanna get
80s,
here,
some
Thomas?
guys that worked for
Yep, that's a 4-man
the
camp. What time would
dynamite
you want to
outfit
get here,
had taken
Thomas?
some dynamite, and it was during the day, and they put it down one of the holes, and they ignited the dynamite they took the light bulbs out and ignited the
12:30?
dynamite. And
Okay.
it blew the camps right off the race holes. But nobody got hurt, thank God, and they went to jail. to say the
Well, we'd
least.
be more than happy
But
to
that's
give you
probably
any
the,
information you need.
One thing I remember the most, and the ice came right up just like a mushroom. It was,
Really?
we happened to be looking out the window at about the time that,
Yes,
that they
yes,
ignited it.
that's what I'm told.
What's the best thing about doing this business?
The people, meeting the people and having fun. Everybody's here to have fun, and
So if you get here about 12:30,
it's just something I look forward to doing every
You want to
winter.
make sure you have some very.
You have
good
a lot of regular
waterproof
customers
boots
then?
because we are
A
on
lot of regular
tidal water.
customers, and some customers
ice
have
does get a little
been coming ever
slushy.
since
Mhm.
we opened, and others
We got about a
came
foot
with their
underneath your
grandfathers,
pants.
and we're in the second or third generation
Mhm.
of
Oh, very
smelt
safe,
fishermen.
definitely.
Well,
We
during
use
the
wood
week we get
stoves,
$10
so
a
if you wanna
person
bring
on
a
Friday and
skillet, you
Saturday
can
right
cook
by
on
the
our wood
camp.
stoves.
Mhm.
We
So it's
supply all
$10
the
a
wood,
person
so
during the
really
week,
only thing you
and
need to bring
40
is,
for a
the
4-man or
waterproof
60 for a
boots and maybe
6-man
something you can
on
drink
the
while you're
weekend,
fishing.
plus $2 for bait.
And that covers how long?
It covers the tide, 6 hours, and that's with the wood. They don't have their own fishing
Oh, sure.
equipment. We
Yeah,
have
no
the
problem. We have, I have a couple of places in Augusta I
lines
can
in the
give you their
camp.
information.
the wood. We provide
Okay,
everything
we
for
have a Super
$10.
8.
Well, you can't really beat that for.
No, it hasn't gone. It's only
and
gone
it's,
up $4
their phone
since
number is
1976.
207.
Wow.
We started out $6 a person,
626.
and now we're getting 10. So it's probably the
2888.
least expensive thing you can do in the state of Maine right now.
I would say so.
Okay, and
Well,
another
I really
place that
enjoy
we
being here,
would
so,
recommend would be
thanks for having us.
So Lloyd, we got a little break in the action here, and I got a couple of standard fishing questions for you.
Yeah.
I would like to know if you'd tell us about your best experience smelt fishing.
Well, the best was one time we came out here. I don't remember what shack it was, but it was 20 or 30 below, and we were getting ready for the togue tournament, and we needed to keep live bait. And so we came up with a horse trough full of water and a freezer full of water, and we came down and started fishing. And it was a hot run, and I mean, we were just as fast as we could go, and we walked away with 3,000 smelts in a night.
Wow.
But it was also 30 below, and we were trying to keep them alive in the tanks without freezing, so we had circulating pumps going, and that means up to your elbows every time the pumps let go in the bottom, and it was miserable, but we caught a lot of fish. And I think the most memorable was there was two of us in a shack fishing. Fishing was awful. Like, it's pretty slow here now, but it was pretty awful. I mean, we'd gone a whole tide without catching a fish. And we were convinced that the next tide would be better. Mm-hmm. So we sat through most of that tide too all night long. And so we were here for about 10 hours, and we finally caught one smelt. And I put it in the bucket. And we sat there for 5 minutes, and the smelt jumped out of the bucket and went down into the hole.
So 0 fish for that day.
It was a negative catch. We dumped everything out and just went home. 10 hours of fishing, not a thing. But it was awful that night, though. I mean, the water was on top of the ice, and it was just terrible. But that's kind of the way it is, you know. Sometimes, like tonight, it's not very hot fishing, but it happens. It's all about the run. And when the smelts are coming up through to spawn, which is what it's all about for them. So you never know, you know, you could show up 2 hours from now and the water would just be alive with them. But we got to try out the new poles, though. And I think, you know, the fella that sent me these told me that these things here can cast, they'll take the place of a 7-foot rod. And I'm kind of looking forward to this summer and trying them out. And apparently, this one I'm using to catch these smelts is, it can handle like a 30-pound striper. So
wow.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking forward. I think what I'm looking forward to trying with it is the poppers. I think with the short action, it'll be nice. You get some nice popper action with them. What do you think about smelt fishing at Baker's?
I think it's great. It's, you know, this stove is just such a definite plus. It really is. And they're, you know, they're very good about making sure that folks are warm. And we had our fire go out when we shifted the shacks, and you know, got on the cell phone, called them, and you know, within 2-3 minutes, guy was down here, dumped a bunch of kerosene on there, put a match to it, and the temperature started to rise. So that was really good. And it's definitely not 30 below, which is another, you know, plus for today. So, you know, it is a little slow, but that's fishing.
Yep.
That is fishing, you know, and hunting, and a lot of the things that you do in the outdoors in Maine. So.
Can I see? I'd like to. Let's point out, the fishing got a little slow, so tell us what we did here to the rigs. Let's talk about the setup that we decided to go with once the fishing got slow.
Well, let me just yank one of those up here. Let me throw this down.
Oh, okay.
And I'll yank one of those up, and we can just take a look at it.
Because we were having a slow night here earlier.
Yeah.
Painfully
There
so.
it is.
Oh, look at that, an action shot, folks.
Maybe. No.
Nope.
Alright. So anyway, well, let's leave this up, and we can talk about what we decided to do. One of the great things about these rigs that Lloyd is doing is that he puts a swivel on the bottom, and so there would normally be a swivel right here. But if you open the clasp up, take the swivel off, you
mean
can
the sinker?
attach another 3.
You mean the sinker?
The sinker, right.
Right. So then we put a second rig because the fishing was slow.
Right.
So you put a second rig on, and you just left that single sinker on the bottom. So that means if it's really slow, which happens sometimes, it depends on the run. We each got 3 jig poles, and we could double that up, and we'd have 36 baited hooks in the water. But it's worked for us. Now, in the bucket, you can see we got a bunch, which I wouldn't call this a big night, but I don't know. What do you think's in there? 25?
Yeah.
Give or take, maybe.
Yeah.
So it's over 20. We know that for sure.
Well, we had a run going. That's for sure.
But this was on a night when there's people walking away from the shacks with 0, 1, 2, 3, single-digit smelt numbers, and we've managed to get 20, 25. Oh, did you get him on?
I don't know. Come on, baby. No.
You know, I was hoping to get some video
And that's
proof
where
that you could catch fish here.
That's where he got, right there.
So he took your bait there, huh?
Yeah, he took it. He did take it.
Well, you know, you're gonna have to be quicker on the draw if you want video proof that you know how to catch fish.
Yeah, Lloyd's too busy catching fish.
Okay, so folks, these are all fish that I caught.
Listen, I caught 3 of those.
Well, you got any proof?
0. Just my word. If any of you folks take the word of a fisherman. Okay.
You got some bigger problems. So see, he's got a spring bobber. Can we look at that spring bobber for a second? Can you put that down? Kent's got a spring bobber on the end of his pole. I didn't have very good luck with that heat shrink tape that comes in it, so I just taped it on there. But with those spring bobbers on there, you can really see every little teeny tiny nibble that happens. I like those. I think when I get home, I'm gonna put those on the M rods for smelt fishing. And then when it comes time for bass season, trout season, I'm going to take them off. Oh, we're going to get some video proof now.
Video proof that the boy knows how to get over here. There it is. There it is. He knows how to catch smelt. There's the video proof.
That's a whale.
Yeah, that is a big one.
We're going to have to put some in the fry pan pretty soon here.
Yeah, I think so.
You know what I think is kind of funny? Now that everybody's gone home, and it's got quiet, and they given up and left, we're catching all kinds of them.
Yeah, no more firecrackers or loud screaming or anything, and all of a sudden they come back and...
Just as everybody's picking up to go home, the Smelts decided to get hungry.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. There you go.
Video proof.
Video proof.
Okay, so out of that whole bucket now, there's 2 that you have proof of.
There's 2 that I have proof of. But here's the thing. I get 1 more smelt, and this will go on the record as being the most... give me that bait back. Ha! Got the bait, too. That'll be 1 more than I caught the whole trip last time. So, ooh.
Look at this. Take a look at your fish. Look at his belly. You see how it's kind of milky there? He's got that strip down the middle.
Yeah.
That's a male. He's right full of sperm, and he's coming up through to do his business with the ladies.
That's it.
He's a ladies' man.
There you go. He's pretty good looking. Pretty good looking fish too.
What, you gonna kiss him?
No. I'm gonna fry him up here in about 4 seconds.
Okay, this is my favorite part. We're gonna we're gonna cook some smelts, and yeah, I can cook. And if the women can't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy, right?
That's it.
So, here's my secret recipe for Smelt Shack Smelts. And, don't tell anybody, because I wouldn't want this to get out on TV or something, where everybody knows my secret recipe. But, we're going to clean some smelts. And this is what I've gotten here. This is Italian breadcrumbs and Old Bay seasoning. If you're a fisherman and you don't have Old Bay seasoning in the cupboard, I'm going to throw you overboard. And a little bit of seasoned salt. And, Kent, you mentioned earlier that maybe you'd like some garlic powder in there, and I should have maybe tossed a little bit of that in there.
It's my own fault for not bringing it.
And how much, I don't know. It's kind of a recipe that I cook like my Aunt Maisie does. You put in some of this and some of that. So with these breadcrumbs and the Old Bay and seasoned salt, all right. So that's in it, and I bring it in a Tupperware like that. And we just put some wood in the stove, and we've turned the damper down. So on the outside, you get the cast iron skillet on there, and let that start getting warm. And I got some vegetable oil. Olive oil would probably be better, but it's more expensive. And I don't really want to deep fry them, but I want to have a good layer of oil in there. And you don't get any fresher than this. You can't go to the market and get this, huh?
That's it.
You buy these at Hannaford, they've been sitting on the shelf for a week. And if you're squeamish, I'm going to clean fish on TV. Patrick's wanted me to do this for a while, So, with these fish, they're small, so we're going to do it like a little brook trout that you catch in the brook. So I'm gonna chop his head off, and yeah, he's still kicking, so that means he's super fresh. But with the head gone, it was real quick and painless, so it wasn't a big deal. Then I'm going to start at the vent here with a poop hole, or whatever you want to call it. It's the vent is the official word for it. And then up to the neck here. Kent, I just saw your pole bounce. So we got him opened up here. See, this is a female. This is those yellow eggs I was talking about. She's right full of roe.
Oh,
yeah, this one's a female.
Yeah.
Caviar. Some people really like to eat that stuff, huh?
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. And I'm not. I'm just going to put it back down the race. There's plenty of other fish and things down there that'll eat it. So you give them a rinse. And then you're left with this this blood line along the back where the lungs and stuff are. And so all I do is put my fingernail in there and push it all right up through. And it brings out the lungs and that blood sac. And then I'll give it an extra rinse. All right. So that's all cleaned out, and we're gonna cook them whole, and it's gonna be just like that. So then I get my breadcrumbs, I'll toss them in there, right? And you got a nice even coat. So I'm gonna clean up a few of these, and I think Kent needs to tend his pole because I've seen him bounce a couple times. I'm gonna clean up a few of these, and then we'll pick it up there. And then I got the oil heating, so I don't want to be too long while I'm cleaning them. Find a spot.
Okay.
There we go. The light's on. Okay. So we got half dozen in here, and it's only a 10-inch skillet. So we got our breaded fish, and you don't be creeped out if they still flopping a little bit. That just means they're fresh. No, I mean, it's just, at this point, it's just nerves twitching. It's not, we're not torturing any animals here. Okay, so we've opened the stove up. We've given the oil time to warm up, and it's getting hotter than Hades' britches in here. So the oil's sizzling though. So then we're just gonna pop these in. And it's not sizzling a lot, so I mean, this could be a little warmer, but we're doing good. We're in good shape. And you can see how the smelts are curling around. And that means they are fresh. And if you get fish from the grocery store and they don't curl around like that, it's been on the shelf longer than you care to know. So it doesn't take long to cook these because they're small. So we're gonna let them sizzle here. I'll give them a roll around, and when the outside gets just kind of crispy to the touch, we're gonna take them out. So it'll only be a few minutes before we're munching on these things.
So Lloyd, how many smelt do you think we got tonight?
I think we got probably around 40, give or take. And I think that, I mean, that would normally kind of be a slow night. We had a good run for a while. But like I said before, when people are walking off the ice with 0, 1, 2, 5, single digit counts,
None.
I think 40
Yeah.
is really a good number for a night like tonight's been. I mean, it was really slow earlier, and we ended up the tide with a pretty busy catch. But from what I heard from everybody else on the ice tonight, it was a single digit night, and there were people walking away with goose eggs. So I think 40. I think we did all right.
It's really good.
And really, in all reality, I mean, if we go home, and I don't know how many you're gonna want, but 20 smelt is a meal or 2 meals anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's all right, you know. It's pretty warm right here. So I think they're about done. But you can see it's just you just touch them and the meat's falling off. So it's only been a few minutes, it doesn't take long. We're gonna pop these off. I'm gonna let them cool, and then I'm gonna let Kent take the first. He gets the honor of the first bite, because I don't think he's had Smelt Shack smelts like this before.
That's a part of the story that I didn't tell. I didn't even get a smelt out of those 5.
So we're gonna.
So this is my first taste of smelt.
Oh yeah. Oh, you didn't eat any of the ones.
I didn't get any of the ones that they took because I didn't catch any of them.
Oh yeah.
So.
Well, you got to catch some if you want to eat them. So we're gonna pull these out of the pan. We're gonna let them cool off, and I'll grab the camera, and we're gonna watch a grown man cry because he's never tasted anything so good in his life. So let me know what you think.
Oh yeah, you're right. Look at that. It just fillets right off.
Yeah, you just pull it right apart with the fork, and you can pull those bones right out, and you won't have very few, if any. And they're so small that a lot of people just crunch the bones right up.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Just grab that right.
It just lifts right out, so it's cooked perfectly.
That's really something. You just go right along the backbone like that.
Yep.
Oh yeah, it's falling right off the bone.
Yep, that's just the way you want it too. Yep.
Look at that.
And you just sort of comb the meat off. Yep.
Yeah, that's really what you're doing, because that's what you got left.
Yep. And that's it.
Okay, so Lloyd's Smelt recipe.
What do you think?
Oh, folks, this is fabulous. I gotta tell you. Just fabulous.
Pretty good, isn't it?
It doesn't taste like any meat. It's really hard to describe, but it is very, very good. Spices are excellent, and the meat itself is just very, very good.
I find the Old Bay makes it just enough spicy to counter the sweet of the smelts. Yeah. A few bones in there.
Yeah, but not bad.